Hey Libras, welcome to your stress relief reading, where we'll take a peek at what's stressing you out right now and how we can make it better. So we're going to first start by pulling a couple of oracle cards just to see what your energy is surrounding this reading. And the first card that we have out is Leap. You go first, the universe will catch you. There was another sign that got that for their overall energy. So we'll see how that fits into your reading, but let's pull another oracle card and see what other energies are surrounding my Libra collective for their stress relief reading. And we have the sacral chakra. Okay, Libras, so it feels like right now you are in a situation where you're going to have to take a little bit of action. So when we look at the sacral chakra, that's really about embracing your creativity and in some cases your, sexuality as well. This is, a very sort of carnal energy. It's very free. It's so open to life. And with the Leap card, you taking a jump, you sort of moving forward, I don't want to say in a fearless way, but you sort of taking a chance and knowing that the universe has you. So there's very much a sense that you are in a place where it's like, okay, Libras, don't be mad, but I just heard like, let your freak flag fly. Take that however it resonates to you. I'm not saying that you have to give your life over to the streets, but it almost feels as though you are sort of constraining yourself in some way. So this could be applicable to, trying new things. It could be applicable to you exploring the possibility of new relationships. If it has to do with your job, it's almost like putting your ideas out there for consideration, where you might have been a little bit quiet before, sort of keeping your mouth shut. It feels like now is a good opportunity for you to speak up, to be more vocal, be like, hey, you know what? I was thinking about this. Or, if it's sort of in your personal life, I've always wanted to try X, Y, and Z. And there's been something that's been holding you back. It might be yourself, might be the opinions of other people. But I feel like Spirit is saying this is your time now to be free. This is your time to be open. This is the time for you to taste all of the goodness of life. And I don't know why, Libras, but I am so excited in this reading. So let's get into some tarot and see what else is going on. Let's see what other messages we can get for you. So where your current stress is coming from. Where's my Libra's current stress coming from? What's the root of where we are right now? And what we have for you is the Five of Swords. So my Five of Swords is a fight card. It's about someone who's just continually pushing. They're always sort of, there's just conflict everywhere. And I feel like you're at the point, I think that it's almost like you're coming out of this stressful period, or at least you're trying to, where there was so much conflict with the people around you. It could be coworkers, it could be in terms of your relationships with other people, but it was like there was always something going on. And we have the Ace of Chalices, or the Ace of Cups in reverse. So this is really about new beginnings with, typically when it comes to love, something that's very much rooted in emotions rather than logic or things like that. And so with these two cards, it almost feels as though you have given up on happiness. And I feel like that's where a good bulk of your stress came from, was that you were just so wiped out from situations, from people where it seemed like there was constant turmoil. And you were like, you know what, screw it. I'm done. I am not giving anything. I'm not expecting anything. Let me just get through life the best way that I possibly can right now, because I cannot do this anymore. So I feel like that's where the core of your stress came from, Libra. It's almost as if you've just given up. You've given up on dreams. You've given up on happiness. It's like, to hell with the damn relationship. I'm trying to keep my head above water. I'm trying to get out of bed every morning. And so that's where I think that your stress came from. Now, the best way for you to sort of handle this, how can my Libras, wow, do you see how that, it's like sticking straight up. So we're just going to take that. And what we have for you is the Six of Wands. So this is interesting because the Six of Wands is really about being validated by others. It's receiving attention and affirmation and accolades and others celebrating you. And so I think for my Libras out there was, I think, initially this need to be affirmed by others, to look to them for support, to look to them for encouragement, or, some sort of affirmation that you're a good person, that you're doing the right things, that, whatever the situation was. And I feel like Spirit is saying, don't worry about other people. Don't worry about their opinions. Don't worry what they have to say. You are all of the affirmation that you need, and you are good enough. And I think that for a period of time, Libra, you really relied on others to show you your worth. And if somebody sort of fell out of line and they didn't, even like no matter how hard it was that you tried, it was really just a sense of people continually telling you that you had some shortcoming, that you weren't measuring up in some way, shape, or form. And it's like no matter what you did, no matter what you gave, it was just like continually just battering you. And it's not necessary. You don't need their validation. We have that clarified by the Knave of Pentacles or the Page of Pentacles. So the Page of Pentacles is someone who offers. There's someone who gives stability, some material goods. And I think that you were giving way more than you were receiving. So it's almost as if Spirit is saying, dial it back, Libra. That little pinnacle that you have, give it to yourself. Affirm yourself. Give these gifts to you, yourself, and you. Until people who are worthy come in, and then you can make the decision on whether or not it's something that they deserve. But it almost feels as though you've been stifling yourself, you've been downplaying yourself to make others feel comfortable. And after a certain point, you realize that that wasn't even working. And it's like, I'm done. I give up. I can't do this. So I think that that's where your stress came from. But I also feel as though there's a shift and you're starting to come out of that energy. It's almost like you're in a place now where you're starting to say, I don't particularly give a flying fuck what other people think about me. I just don't. Like at the end of the day, I have to look at myself in the mirror and that's it. I don't have to look at anybody else. I need to go to bed being comfortable with me. And I think that you were growing into yourself, that you're becoming more and more comfortable. So an important lesson that you are learning, we have the King of Chalices. So this king is emotional. They're a giver. And they, their cup overfloweth. And you can sort of see that depicted here in this card where they had this big chalice and there's just water spouting up all over it. So I think that Libras, you are a very, very emotional person and you do have a lot to offer. But with the King of Swords bumped up against the King of Chalices, the lesson that you're getting from this is being very discerning about who you give your energy to. Because the King of Swords is a cutting energy. They are blunt. They are unapologetic. And if they don't want to deal with you, they absolutely do not deal with you. And it's not something like, oh, they're ghosting. Like they'll let you know up front, I don't like you. You don't deserve anything. And so I feel like the lesson for you is finding this balance between the two. Like making it clear that you are not going to give to someone who's not deserving. You're going to put yourself first. And if there's something left for others, then absolutely wonderful. And if not, you know what? They'll find a way to be okay just like you did. And so there's this very strong lesson of discernment, of not exhausting yourself for the benefit of other people, not holding yourself back or restricting yourself to get the approval or validation of others, which at the end of the day, for like 95% of people, does not mean anything. Now, do you want to be validated by like the people who cut your paychecks? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But for random folks, nah, not so much. Not so much. So something that you're not seeing clearly right now, what are my Libras missing? What's a little bit of information that they need to have? We have the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. And that's interesting because the 10 of Pentacles upright is really about having abundance. It's about having stability. It's like sort of the pinnacle of that. And we also have the 10 of Swords. So what you've experienced, this betrayal, because that's really what the 10 of Swords is all about. It's about being backstabbed. It's about being hurt. It's about being deceived by others. Holding on to this energy is going to keep you from this. It's going to keep you from achieving your 10 of Pentacles. You're not going to have that stability. You're not going to have that abundance because you're holding on to this nasty negative energy that's been left by other people around you that have been disappointed, who have not affirmed you in spite of you giving everything that you possibly could. And so it feels like now is the time for you to unleash. I just heard release the Kraken. I don't exactly know what a Kraken is, but Libra, I feel like in this case, it's like unleashing that creative beast that focuses on themselves, that is looking to build this amazing life, who is more vocal, who is willing to speak up for themselves, who is focused on doing things that make them feel happy and full and complete. So whatever experiences that you've had, it feels like it's time for you to process and release them because it's keeping you from your abundance. It's keeping you from your best life. Now, how can you avoid having this particular challenge in the future? Okay. We have 3 cards that came out and we'll take all of them. So we have the Hierophant, we have Justice in reverse, and we also have the 9 of Wands. So interesting combination of cards, right? Because the Hierophant, when it's upright, is really about foundation. It's about process. It's about having a sort of step-by-step roadmap. This is the right way that you do things. And with Justice, this is about fairness. It's about balance. And I think that Spirit is saying, when it comes to you, Libra, I think that you are a creative creature, that you have the ability to think outside of the box, that you have the ability to do things a little bit differently. And having that awareness that not everybody is going to be on that same page is going to be super important for you. Because when you realize that, maybe you're a circle looking for validation from squares, it's never going to be a good fit. So this is a path. This is you sort of going your own way. And as you travel, taking that leap, I think that you will collect people who are going to be much better aligned with where you are and how you move. But persevere. With the 9 of Wands, this is my wounded warrior. This is my soldier card. Someone who's been through the fire and they're still standing. They are still here. So whatever it is that you do, this energy that you're coming out of that's been sort of causing you stress, where you just throw your hands up and you say, I'm not doing anything at all. I'm just going to stay where I am. Spirit is saying, do not do that. That's not what you were destined to do. That's not your path. You were meant to move forward in the way that only a Libra can. So despite the bumps, I think that there's a better opportunity that's waiting for you in terms of the experiences that you have and the people that you interact with, but it's going to be very dependent on whether or not you're able to live in your truth, regardless of what other people think about you. So if you're quirky, be quirky, okay? If you dance to the beat of a different drummer, bang that shit as loud as you can. It's going to be okay. You'll find your tribe and you'll be in a much happier and better place for it. So another little message, keep your eyes on the stars, but remember to keep your feet on the ground. So this is you dreaming big, thinking big, aiming big, doing big things, but making sure that you don't get lost in the sauce, right? This is you not being reckless. This is you making sure that you have everything in place. This is you being thoughtful about things that you're doing, but not so like sort of entrenched in needing other people to think that what you're doing is the right way, because you're doing it the Libra way. So that's what I got for you guys. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next one.